It's the dishwasher versus the hand washing debate. And again, it's not as clear cut as you might think. If you're hand washing in a bowl and you're not letting all that water run down the sink, yes, you're probably more efficient than the dishwasher. But modern dishwashers don't use an awful lot of water. They're pretty water efficient. What they do use is they use electricity, and as I said, that's quite carbon intensive. But again, you know, in some households, it's not worth removing the dishwasher for the sort of the aggravation that people go into. So if you are going to use a dishwasher, the key is make sure you do full loads. If you do half loads, even with a half load button, you generally use more energy and water. So full loads are the key, and also scraping rather than rinsing. There's no point sort of basically putting clean plates into your dishwasher just to sort of finally polish them off. In terms of washing machines, again, it's about doing full loads, don't do half loads. Try and wash at 30 degrees, because 30 degrees uses up to sort of 40% less energy than higher temperatures. Treat stains rather than sort of whacking them in at a really high temperature. And again, if you've got any eco modes and things like that on your machine, try and use them. There's all sorts of things you can do in the garden, not really relevant at this time of year, but there's things like you can put down mulches, and that reduces evaporation. Try and water obviously in the morning and the evening, so you get less evaporation as well. You can also fit a water pot down to your downpipe there. It's obviously easier if you've got plastic guttering. If you've got metal guttering, it can be a little bit harder because you actually have to hack in between. The benefit of a water butt is obviously using the whole of the roof as a catchment area for the water. So you can obviously then just basically use that in your garden, and it has a little tap at the bottom, and you can basically use it in a watering can to water your garden. The reason is because if you use a sprinkler or a hose, it uses around about 1,000 litres an hour. So again, masses and masses amount of water. So obviously, worth saving water in the garden. Also, of course, you can get plants which are drought resistant. Whether you need those in Edinburgh at the moment, probably not. Not given our last summer in any case. Again, with car washing, if you do wash your car, try and do it with a bucket and sponge rather than obviously a hose, because that's using an awful lot of water. If you are going to use a hose, then something like this is probably better than one without. And the benefit of this obviously is that you're only letting the water go when you're holding the trigger down. So in the garden, you're not sort of traipsing across the lawn to the other side of the garden and letting all that water waste. Obviously, still better to use a can. So, brain is essentially 80% water. So I thought I'd sort of throw a few sort of top tips. So basically, it's sort of things like shorter showers, making sure you lag your hot water pipes, and using a jacket. If you don't have a jacket, that's definitely the first place to start, because it's a really cheap thing to do, and you start saving energy and water. Fit a flow regulator or an aerator. So either an aerator, flow regulator, but obviously only if you don't have an electric shower or a power shower. Don't overfill the kettle. The kettle uses an awful lot of energy, far more energy than we think. Obviously, because it's only on for a short period of time, but it's a high energy usage thing, and there's no point in keep on boiling a full kettle of water. Do full loads with your dishwasher and your washing machine. Try and wash your clothes at 30 degrees, wash up in a bowl, fix your leaking tap so you don't waste up to 5,500 litres. Use these cistern displacement devices if you think you've got a slightly older cistern. If you're not quite sure, put one in. If you find you're flushing twice, then you just remove it, because obviously there's no point in flushing a slightly reduced volume twice. And try and use a watering can rather than a hose. Sort of very, very simple things, but I think the whole idea is that water is sort of overlooked because it is part of our council tax, it is part of the rate, and so it's not separately billed. So it's something that we can do, and as I said, only 11%, approximately 11% of the carbon emissions are actually associated with the distribution of it. It's the hot water use in the home that's a real thing. So it's something that consumers can make a real difference about. It's something that consumers who don't necessarily own their property can make a difference, because they can install these things without actually having to get grants for insulation and having to ask the landlord. So it's definitely things we can do. As part of this pilot, we're giving away various freebies as well. So we're giving away little wee shower timers. These last for approximately 5 minutes. And it just gives you an idea of how long you spend in the shower. Because for every minute you spend in the shower, it costs you between £5 and £10 over the year, depending on how your water's heated. So potentially, by reducing your shower time down from, say, 15 minutes to 5 minutes, you could save up to £100 over the year. So not a small amount. And also very, very good at trying to make the kids aware of how long they're spending in the shower. And these are very, very popular with parents. Probably less so for the water saving, more for the fact that they're trying to get the kids out of the shower. And we also are doing water energy checks. What this is a few little questions. If you guys would be interested in filling one in today, that'd be great. And what that does is it will generate a wee report, and it will basically tell you various things you can do to save water in your own home based on the answers you give. It's a very sort of simple way of us just sort of helping you and giving you a few more tips and sort of prompting you to sort of save water in the home. So essentially that's all I have to say. Not rocket science, but something we really should be doing a bit more of. Thanks.
Fantastic.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.